Yeah, I don't think it's going to go for an hour somehow.
Welcome to a podcast. Damn it.
If only they'd take the penis out of my ass, honestly.
We'll segue into that in a minute. I'm going to take a really quick piss and then we'll get this thing started. Alright, so shall we give this fucking Raz then? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Keegs, and welcome to podcast number 22 on, funnily enough, the 22nd of, what are we, June 2015.
Got it in the end.
Joined tonight with Xenon.
Hello,
course,
Internet.
and the other.
We tried to organise other
duo
people,
tonight.
but they didn't respond quickly enough, so they missed out. But maybe next week.
Apparently everybody's busy.
Yes. It's 22nd of 6th, which happens to be my brother's birthday, so that's why he's not here. And
Happy birthday, Photos.
happy birthday, photos. We're thinking of you, even though you're not watching the stream. That's okay. You can watch it afterwards.
Sick.
All right, what do we got tonight? What's on the big list?
The big list. We have the big list. Bit of controversy down under. Seems. Yeah. Legislation.
Yes, so we got boring political stuff first. Senator Ludlam is putting forward an inquiry. It's not an actual inquiry. He's trying to find out if we could do an inquiry into the Australian games industry, to see if they can propel the Australian games industry to make, I guess, more money. The problem, I mean, the
Australian games happening.
yes. Well, not even Australian games. It's just having. I mean, we had an Australian Interactive Games Fund, which is a $10 million fund for under the Screen Australia umbrella, provided grants and funding for projects in Australia, but that got axed with the current government. So
Bastards.
thanks for that, Rex. So he's trying to look into ways that they can provide tax cuts and other incentives for companies to come to Australia and set up shop here. Much as Canada has done. They did much the same thing, and now they've got a fairly vibrant gaming industry happening.
As we should too. We have interesting, artistic, and talented people. Why can't we make games?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why we can't. So that's what he's introducing. That's what's trying to happen. Well, actually, that's what he's trying to introduce, I should say. I don't know whether it's going to be. I don't think it's going to happen, but
let's hope.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of the one guy with half a brain in the entire government, so no, it's a maybe at best.
Sadly, he's Greens.
Yes, he's also. That doesn't help his cause at all. Other boring political stuff. Australia site blocking anti-piracy bill just got passed today. Time to move to Canada, people.
It's still actually in Senate hearing, but it's been passed through the lower house.
37 yay to 13 against. The bit that chat me was that the Liberals and Labor were both for this. I'm like,
Labor just rolled over.
Hello. And it's got stupid stuff, like Senator Ludlam again tried to introduce some amendments to say stuff like clear up the definition of VPNs. So virtual private networks aren't necessarily just used for piracy. Like, I use VPNs every day for work. It allows me access to business networks in order to get work done, essentially. But under the current bill,
even things like Dropbox and things like that are going to get affected by that sort of change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, VPNs of themselves are not illegal. Well, they will be soon, but VPN apparently are going to be illegal soon. So there'll be a huge uproar about that, and then they'll have to backtrack a bit and go, oh well, it's actually only VPNs that are used for legal purposes, and then they'll be like, well, there's no way of tracking which VPNs are, have stuff that's illegal and which stuff doesn't. So
yeah, So if any of these companies now want to set up in Australia or get used in Australia, they're going to have to get some sort of certification to say that, hey, we're not using it for illegal substances. We're going to abide by your legislation. So just more crap everybody's going to go
It's
through.
one more reason not
and
to
it's
set
going
up
to
a
add
company
cost.
here. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just another reason not to set up a company here. So, well, yeah, there you go. You got anything else to add before we move on from the boring political stuff?
No, I'm too angry.
Yes, I was to look at this and going, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous." Let's move
I
on.
was thinking today, I'm going to soon do a video rant about all this.
Oh yeah, a piece to.
Yeah. Look forward to that, people.
I eagerly await it. Sex Mankind Divided. They released a world premiere gameplay demo, which they premiered at E3. Which looks nice.
Woo!
Did you watch it all in the end?
Yeah, I watched it all.
I mean, I know you're not a big Deus Ex fan, but what was your thoughts?
Meh. It looked like Deus Ex. I have the original one, so it hate me. But I play the Human Revolution 2 hours, and I couldn't get into it. But I have heard that was the least favorite one, so maybe that's why I couldn't get into it.
Which one was Human Revolution? The second one?
That's the most recent.
Human Revolution's probably the first one. Pretty much the best one. The second one was the worst one. The third one was okay.
Right.
Like, it wasn't as good as the first one, and everyone was sort of trying to build it up to be this. It really wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably going to be more the same. Like, if you like the third one, you're probably going to like this one. So.
I mean, it just seems more movie than game. Which
there was a fair amount of cutscenes.
It's fine sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fine if it's good. Then if it sucks you in, then sure, why not? I don't know. I just not my kind of game. I got really confused, and I ended up shooting everybody in a police station because I didn't know what to do. So I just shot everything.
That's your default answer for everything.
Yeah, so kill what I don't understand. That's how I live my life.
Two physics puzzle, shoot everyone.
Yeah, that's right. If they're not going to stop me, I'm going to keep going. They tried.
So yeah, the go and look up. It's called Deus Ex Mankind Divided World Premiere Game. It's about 25 minutes long. It shows a fair amount of footage. The graphics don't look that much better than the game they released 3 years ago, a while ago.
I'll have a look. I've got it.
You look it up. It was. Yeah.
What was I going to say? I will say that for an alpha, it looked really, really good.
Yeah,
but I think that's because they're running off the same engine as the old one.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a new game engine, like a new story with the same engine. So, which is interesting. I mean, I like it for the story aspect, the gameplay. I mean, wise, it was the same.
2013. Sorry.
Okay, so
Human
left
Revolution. I will say that Metacritic have given 1 out of 100, which is
for Revolution. Yeah, I mean, it was a good game.
I wouldn't have given it that, but anyway. But I'm not a Deus Ex fanboy, so.
Oh, there you go. I don't know about that, apart from go watch the demo, see what you think.
Not a lot more to say about it, to be honest. I mean, it was a demo game, so there's some cool that stick people to walls, sort of like a fun sort of thing, and somebody gets sort of killed from the inside out. It was pretty good.
Yep. All right.
I don't know if it plays on the story anymore. Stories.
All right, so Kickers, I want you to segue from this into our next topic.
Speaking of augments.
That's a good one. I like it. We actually haven't had a good segue for a while. They've all been pretty shit.
Razer has decided to take a fistful of VR and I guess attempt to equalize the market by making it open source.
Is that the unit of measurement for VR? A fistful?
It's probably a faceful, to be honest.
Fistful of VR.
Yeah, a field of view of VR, whatever, 90-degree. Well, yeah, well, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
So Razer are trying to create an open source SDK basically, so that you don't have different proprietary VR systems like Oculus, Valve's VR, HTC, others, because there's about 7 different sort of major players of VR at the moment, and it's very difficult to it's difficult for games developers to actually program for all of them. It's sort of like having you've got to program for for this field of view and for this all this different hardware, different types of hardware. And if you have a common SDK that works on everything, it makes a lot less work for game developers.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to make something bog standard that'll work on PC, Mac, console, just everywhere. Just trying to basically get across every platform.
It's kind of a DirectX for VR.
Idea. I think it's a silly idea. It'll get stopped.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot of Razer fanboys are gonna fucking hate me for this, but Razer make terrible products. Most of their products are just a Razer brand on overpriced and quite shitty builds. Right, most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Most of the headsets are crap. Most of their mice are crap. Their keyboards crap. But most of their controllers, they're crap. And I think this is their way of just trying to. They even said that they don't plan on making the hardware. Like, this is the cheap way of getting into this market without putting any effort in. So they're just they're probably just going to take the Unreal Engine and just revamp it to suit VR and just say, hey, here's Razer's SDK.
Well, it's not really. I mean, it's more a agreement of standards more than a gaming engine.
Nobody is going to agree to that. That where this is like looking into the past of where gaming started, where there's going to be Apple, there's going to be Mac, there's going to be Nintendo. All these people are fighting each other for dominance in the market. There's no way they're going to say, yeah, all right, let's put down our swords and we'll say, we'll just all use this.
There is actually precedent
especially
for this to
the amount of money they've just put into it. Like, VR has just come out. Everybody's just launched their VRs at E3. There's no way they're going to pull all that money away and say, hey, let's just use this.
Well, there is actually precedent for this sort of thing to happen, given that all technology, well, basically all the connectors on your PC are all basically agreed to by a majority of manufacturers. So, like, whenever they create a new USB spec, there's about, I don't know how many there are, but let's say 50 hardware manufacturers that all come together and put their 2 cents worth in over what they think should, like how fast it should be, what it should look like, all that sort of thing. What it should be made of, to make sure that it's all sort of within. It's all a single spec rather than having 20 or 30 different types of connectors. So it's basically, it's basically like that, but software. And I mean, it's been done before with DirectX, although that was less of a consortium of people, more sort of Microsoft steamrolling. And I suspect you might be right. I think Razer will probably get steamrolled. I think Oculus or Valve VR, or whichever one comes up on top, will be the standard that everybody uses, and everyone will pay them a license.
And that's how it's going to happen, because unless this SDK is like fucking blowing out of the water good, there would be no reason for them to use it. If they've got one better, and people are going to go for that anyway. They're going to say, hey, we've got the better software for our, whether the headset's better or not, but they're just going to say, hey, you can play better games with our software on our headset rather than using this open source software.
Well, there's a reason to go to the open source standard
For
because
indie games, sure.
well, for indie games, well, for forever, because you don't have to pay licensing fees. You don't have to pay any licensing fees. Whereas if you go for the Oculus standard, which currently doesn't exist, but if it did turn out that they were the ones that created the standard, you'd have to pay a licensing, which would be in the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars.
Which is even more reason I think this isn't going to work, because big companies like Square Enix, EA, all these big names are going to be, well, fuck them. We've got our own software and our own consoles that we already, have, like new Call of Duty and stuff like that. Then they're not going to want to go with an open source software if they've already got market share of whatever console. They're going to be, hey, you can play this on the Morpheus, and it's going to look fucking 10 times better,
Yeah, I don't know. It remains to be seen. I think it's a good idea to at least try it. I suspect they'll probably fail given the company that they are.
I think it's a fantastic pipe dream, but it's not. I don't think it's going to work. I mean, in a perfect world, this would be great, but I just see this being absolutely crushed by larger companies.
Fair enough. Shall I segue, or should you?
You can go.
I'll segue. What if Gone Home had VR? It would probably look something like Tacoma, which I thought was a type of car, because when I did Google image search for it, it came up with a bunch of cars.
I see that they've added slightly more to it since last time we talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about this
quite a long time ago.
3 months ago, 4 months ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I think all we had then was a sort of a place like a 30-second video. It showed almost nothing.
Yeah, it was just like an entry hall.
Yeah, you saw almost nothing.
Well, to be honest, this doesn't really show you any fucking more.
That's true. It's like they've designed the game and we'll go, well, this is the start, so we'll show them this bit, and then it's like they'll design the up to the next bit, and that's as far as I've got.
Yeah.
So it's.
Oh, it was last year, December 5th last year.
Wow.
Was when they released the other one.
It's a long callback. So 2000
6 months ago.
Yeah, 6 months ago. Wow. Were we even doing podcasts back then? That seems like a long time ago.
Yeah, we started last year.
Okay. I do remember vaguely stopping for Christmas. We did the Christmas special.
Yeah. That was number 10, so yeah, we're doing it a while.
Okay. So this is basically they've released a little bit more information about it. The person you play is called Amy Ferrier, and it's her first day on the Lunar Transfer Station. And something goes wrong, and hilarity ensues. So that's the game in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Go and check out the video. It's called Tacoma Space Exploration. TACOMA, because I spelled it TACAMA, TAC or something.
This is Tacoma.
And I got a bunch of videos of vans. Apparently, it's a type of van. so don't make that mistake.
You'll probably get more information out of the vans, though.
You probably get more fun out of the van. You can at least do, burnouts.
It's not coming to PS4 or anything. It's only coming to Xbox One, PC, Mac, and Linux.
Oh,
2016, so still a while away.
Yeah, it's 2006. What's next? I'm gonna breeze through these fairly quickly because there's not a lot of information here. Do what we can.
Speaking of vans and the need for speed,
I think that'd be awesome if Need for Speed actually had a van.
Van.
Someone will probably come back and go, "Oh well, Need for Speed Underground, you can have a van." I'll be like, "Oh sweet." Like a father's worst nightmare. So basically, there's a release date announced for the new Need for Speed game, which I think is just going to be called Need for Speed. It's a original, so it's not called Underground or Bobbles or whatever.
Anything badass like that.
No, it's just called
EA's taken a break from ruining other games and gone back to Need
for Speed. Yeah. So we think it'll be 3rd of November, because there was a Microsoft accidentally released. The Xbox Game Store released a product page for Need for Speed, which had all the stuff on it, and they weren't supposed to release it yet. So
it was a pre-order page. They just assumed everybody wanted a pre-order. It was ready.
So
well, not 2 years, only a few months.
Well, it's about 6 months, but yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all nighttime racing as speeds were. Visuals look quite good. I was actually surprised at how nice it looks. It's Project Cars-esque in its beauty. I looked at some videos that said they were gameplay videos, but I salt anything that EA does. I take it a huge sack of salt.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think the last was it Need for Speed Most Wanted or something used the Frostbite engine. That was weird. I don't know whether they're still doing it now. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, I'm not sure which engine they're. So I know it's being developed by a UK called Ghost Games, and I don't think they've made any Need for Speed. So maybe they'll do it a little bit better.
Well, hopefully they'll do better than Visceral Games did with fucking Hardline. We'll see what happens.
Ross McLaren's in the chat. Hello. He's a regular.
Old Ross.
Our mate Ross. So we've got more VR news.
More VR. Star
VR. So I watched a few videos on this and read up on some information about it. It's basically they're trying to differentiate themselves in the market by tilting their internal. So they on their headset they have two panels, one for each eye, and what they've done is tilted the panels horizontally, so you get a much larger field of view. So to give you a reference, the Oculus DK2 has, or actually the CM1, whatever the consumer riff will be, CR1 I think it's has about 105 degree field of view. This will have a 210 degree field of view plus 130 degree vertical field of view. So they're trying to sort of say that it's less like you're looking through, through a diver's mask. It's much more, see into the corners of the headset.
But will this be using Razer's SDK?
It wouldn't surprise me if. Well, actually, I looked at. I mean, they went to E3 and they had a booth set up, and they're very early days at this stage. They're not even. It's not like they're going to be releasing this at the end of this year or the end of next year. This is 3 to 4 years away, probably. Looking at
well, too late for them. Then they're fucked.
Exactly. I think they're going to be swallowed up by another company. I suspect someone like Morpheus or
They've completely missed the boat. They are way too late for
I think
VR.
they probably are in their development cycle. They're too slow. They started in 2011. You can see that they're what's their progress?
I will give them credit though that they are working with Toshiba, who is a pretty good technology brand, and Lionsgate for some fucking weird reason.
Well, you say they're working with Toshiba. I suspect they're probably Toshiba.
Well, they're partners with.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know how much that actually. That mean?
It'd just be tech and whatever they needed. Parts
I mean, they were so that in June 2011 they'd sort of produced their first sort of prototype headset with 120 degree view, and then sort of they've been refining it and making it, fixing bugs and problems, and working away up until E3. And I looked at their E3 rig, and it's very much prototype stage. It's very much gaffer tape and hope that holds it together. So, yeah, I'm expecting Star VR to be bought out by another company, like another VR company like Oculus or HTC Vive.
The problem with new tech, especially this, because it's so groundbreaking, like VR is now taking over gaming and everything. It's the buzzword. VR is the buzzword. Once that comes in and somebody starts the ball rolling, which Oculus obviously did, everybody sucked it up, and that's why every other company jumped on board. Unless you're in at the same time, you're too late. Like as soon like now that Sony's come out, Microsoft's come out, even Valve has come out. There's so many now that it's flooded the market, and these are big companies that they are now dominating the market, and you can't stop that.
No.
And these will be the pinnacle pieces that decide what VR is, and then other people will have to just take from that and
try and
push it further. Yeah. But you can't come in and expect to have a new fancy VR. It's too late. It's far too late for that now.
Yeah. I mean if you hadn't started development 3 or 4 years ago, it's already too late for you.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys started in 2011. I don't know how much money they have, like what their backing is like. I mean, they've got some big names behind them. I mean, they actually had the E3 demo that they had was a Walking Dead video, but it was pretty. Sorry, no video, a Walking Dead game, but it was more of a tech demo.
Yeah. That's probably actually where Lionsgate came into it, because would they have the rights for Walking Dead?
Skybound does, and they're partnering with them as well.
Okay.
So they're Telltale have the rights to the comic book,
the
comic book
game
version, and I think Skybound have the rights to the TV version. So this is less sort of cartoony. This is much more sort of realistic Left 4 Dead style zombies. They actually also had a which was interesting. They actually also had a shotgun prop, which they use. You could actually reload it with the pump action, action, and it's I mean they had QR codes to track movement, which is great for prototyping. But you'd never release a you'd never actually release a headset like that because it's too unwieldy. So you can tell it's still very much in the prototype stage. You're 12 to 18 months out.
It only works for Android and phones at the moment, isn't it?
The Star VR, I don't think so. I mean, they've got their own panel, so it's not like you stick a phone in it. It's hooked up to a PC.
I might be thinking about Razer's one.
Right. Yes, I mean Razer do have their own VR solution as well, but that's called something else. I don't remember. So, and actually, Razer have said they're not actually going to produce the hardware. They're actually only going to produce. Sorry, they're not going to produce the software side or even the hardware side of the.
They're lazy money grabbers.
They are. Razer are trying to stimulate interest so that they can sell more accessories, essentially.
Yeah, such is life.
But I mean, I'm glad they're trying it. I mean, I think they'll fail, and I think they'll get bought up by a bigger company. But never know. It might turn out that having a really wide field of view is actually really important. So maybe they'll come out ahead of the pack. So, I mean, it's the actual number of pixels you've got is 5120 by 1440. So it's
the problem is that if they're not coming out for another few years, then these other games and whatever are already going to be optimized for these big releases like the Morpheus and Steam one. I can't fucking remember the Vive, whatever it is. Vive. Yeah. So this new product is going to come out, and all these developers are going to go, well, we're already kind of using the others, so.
Yeah, I mean, there'd have to be a compelling reason for developers to actually, create a game specifically.
Yeah, it's like, look, it looks better. Great. What systems does it work on? Does it work across consoles?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, listening to the guys talk, they seem a little bit naive on how on the state of VR at the moment. I suspect they're naive to try and save their jobs. So,
everybody's trying to market everything now. Like because like I said, VR is the future now. This is the big buzzword. Everybody is basically trying to sell their products. So you've got to be like, oh no, this is nothing compared to everybody else's. This is the new VR. This is the greatest, And then Steam's like, oh, you can move around the room, and Project Morpheus is like, oh, it's an experience you'll never have. Blah blah blah.
Experience
It's
you'll
just
never have.
fucking. I can't even really remember whether theirs is any different to anybody else's. Like I don't think I even watched their.
The
Oh no, I
Morpheus.
did. It was no, I didn't. Did I? Fucking can't remember. There wasn't much to say about it. It was just another VR. After you see everybody bring out theirs, like Microsoft and Valve and everybody, they bring out the VR headsets, and you're just like, yeah, it's just another fucking VR headset that I have to decide whether I want.
Yeah, and I am wondering how the VR landscape is going to look this time next year after Oculus has been released and the the Valve VR has been released, and probably there may be another one, like maybe Microsoft will bring out their HoloLens. That's more of an AR than a solution. But I'm guessing they're going to be another smaller player get released early next year.
There'll be hundreds of thousands of every company will probably bring out their own because it's going to be so washed. I think it's going to be cheap for everybody now because everybody's trying to make it. So it'll probably be quite cheap to manufacture. So everybody's just jump on the bandwagon, and I'm expecting in the next, well, probably not, over the next 3 years, you're going to go in the Kmart and there'll be a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles VR headset with a couple of games that come with it, for your kids. Like it'll be like $40.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, I understand. I could see that happening. I think most of the work in VR is being done not so much in the technical side, but more in the user comfort and usability side. There's stuff that needs to be researched that companies like Valve and Oculus are researching at the moment. But once we know all that, the difficulty in pumping out decent high quality VR headsets will suddenly become much easier.
Yeah. I mean, the speed that this is moving is incredible. I mean, it's way faster. Like when we were young, when consoles were, coming into play, there'd be 3, 4, 5 years in between console titles. Now, like between last gen and next gen, they're just pumping them through now. And new upgrades to PCs, like hardware, everything is just going out of control fast. Yep. And this is another example of it. So it's only going to get quicker. Yeah,
I mean, the speed of the technology releases at the moment is it's crazy. So I don't have much more to say about Star VR apart from the fact that they had
another drop in the pond.
Yeah, I mean, they're another player. They're not a huge player. I mean, they're no Valve, they're no Oculus, but they're sort of a medium-sized player with an interesting product. I suspect they're going to fall down in terms of usability and it's
optimization.
They're gonna fall down for a reason that's not anything that we probably can think of right now. It's going to be something like having 210 degree field of view makes you sick or something like that. So
yeah, well, the issue I have is that they're talking about these huge field of views, which is fine. It's still only on a 1024 by 768 screen. So
hang on, sorry, what? So back up, say it again.
It's two. It says down here 1024 by 768.
That was in 2011.
All right, what are we up to now?
You're looking at two. Hang on, I'll give you the full bananas. It is. So there's two panels, and they're each 2510, 2560, I think they are, by 1440. So in total, you get.
So that's 4K basically.
It's about 5. They actually call it 5K, even though it's not really 5K. I mean, it is because the number is above 5,000, but I mean the actual it's a 32:1 aspect ratio, and it's 5120 by 1440.
So I need a game that'll run 2 screens at 5K simultaneously at 60 FPS
No,
and
no, no, no,
higher,
90 FPS.
90 FPS
Yep.
or higher, and with a field of view that is fucking 10 times higher than what I'd usually play in FPS anyway. Even 90 is weird looking.
As you can see, it's going to be a while. I mean, it's probably just as well. It's going to be a while before this is released because we're going to need to buy some beefier computers.
Yeah, yeah, and like this field of view, I understand that you want a bit more field of view, and it gives you like that fishbowl effect, so you can look around. But
I don't think it even
with
gives you the fishbowl
Oculus,
effect. I think it's just that it doesn't stretch. It actually just provides you the
just
ability
sort
to
of
see more.
rolls around a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Because like I play, I think most of my games I play at 85 field of view, and that gives me a slight fishbowl on a flat screen, just so I get a bit more peripheral. So I couldn't imagine like 210. That would be like it'd be nearly wrapped around your face.
Well, the 210 it's not so much so that you can actually look over the full 210 degrees because you
It's
actually
just so you're encased inside of it.
yeah, it's so that when you turn your eyes all the way to the left or all the way to the right, you're not looking
You can
at
still
mostly
see it.
blackness, or not that you can see blackness. It's actually so you can still see stuff off in your peripheral. So
Yeah.
we'll wait and see.
I don't think that's necessary though. I mean, maybe a little bit more than the DK2. Like the DK2, I didn't have a problem with because I don't like if I'm playing a game, I don't really use my peripheral anyway. Even with the VR, I didn't really use my peripheral. I mean, like, even in real life, I use it a little bit, I guess. Like, but,
It's more so that you can notice that things are there, then you turn to look at them. So
yeah, I guess so.
it's not so much looking.
Yeah,
at,
but
oh,
if you can't see them, then you don't fucking look at them, do you?
well, there might be a guy trying to sneak up behind you and knife you in the back while you're playing CS:GO, Keek. So maybe it'll be.
Move your head, like you can.
What if you don't know they're there?
Listen.
What if they're being super sneaky beaky?
Super sneaky beaky like.
You deserve to die, I guess, in that case.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? I've talked about enough.
360 no-scope.
I've talked enough about VR.
Speaking of sneaky beaky, like maybe. No.
It's not very sneaky beaky like.
Speaking of experiences that are yet to be fulfilled, I guess. There's a prototype mod for Skyrim, which is cooperative multiplayer. Yeah, everything everybody's ever wanted. Except it's very, very, very much alpha.
It's early days yet. So the guy that's working on it has basically mastered putting a person in, like injecting a person into the game, having them move around with sort of mostly correct animations, and that's about it. Like I don't think there's any collision, or there might be collision, but there's certainly there's no combat. You can't whack something and have everybody else see that you killed it, type of thing. I don't think you certainly can't do quests and stuff together. So it's more of an exploration thing at the moment. But having said that, he's only been working on it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not very long.
Yeah, very much just ghosting somebody's game at the moment, but it still kind of works. I mean, you can still play with your friend in the world, which is pretty amazing. I mean, you can't really interact with each other's world, but that's pretty cool. That's good things to come. Could be the game that we're all looking for.
It's what we all wanted when they released that stupid Elder Scrolls, the Scrolls
Elder
game
Scrolls Online.
It's what we wanted when we heard that Bethesda were working on an online multiplayer, Elder Scrolls game. We're like, oh, it's going to be Skyrim but multiplayer, and it wasn't. It was World of Warcraft with Skycraft skins.
Fucking crap.
It was crap. Yeah. So this is what we wanted.
That amazes me. That this guy has spent 2 weeks and he's gotten this far.
Yeah.
And they made a complete game that was crap, and this is already exciting.
I mean, people really wanted.
Even though it doesn't even work properly.
Yeah. I mean, people really wanted to play the Skyrim multiplayer. It's a game that lends itself to multiplayer experiences, but Bethesda said no.
RPGs are meant to be to play, so you can play with your friends. You can do all those cool missions with your friends and laugh and sing and banter along and kill wolves and stuff.
So, if you want to go and download it, it's called Tamriel Online, and I presume you just go to the Bethesda mod shop, where maybe it's on Steam Workshop, and download it. One person's got to run the server module, and then you can just jump in and give it a go. He's openly
you have to
said,
pay for it, and you don't like it, you can get a refund.
well, it's not a paid mod.
If it is, it probably is if it's on Steam.
But not in the mod workshop. In fact, it's not even on the mod workshop. It's on Reddit. So the link on Reddit.
If you go to Reddit, then.
Yeah, go to Reddit. So
check your just AVG that shit though, because
yeah.
recently there was a mod for GTA 5 which had a fucking pretty nasty virus in it.
Did you download it, Keith?
Keep your wits. No, I just heard about it because I know the guys from Funhouse. They accidentally advertised this mod that had a fucking keylogger in it or something.
Oh, okay.
Keep your wits about you, people. Like, it might be a good thing, but just, double check this shit.
Double check. Yeah, so call Tamriel Online. Go and check it out. Very early days. Hopefully, it's what we actually want. A Skyrim multiplayer game. Speaking of things we wanted in multiplayer games, it's not multiplayer, I don't think. OpenRCT! It's an open source Roller Toaster Tycoon 2 game.
Roller Toaster?
Roller Toaster, yes.
Yay.
Game about toasters. I'm sure that I know they exist. So, do you want to leave with this one?
You do need the original, though.
Do you?
You need the original to play it. However, the original is currently $3.50 on Steam, or like $14 on GOG for some fucking reason.
$3.50 too much.
Yeah, this is basically like an upgrade to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Okay, so what does it actually do?
It just makes everything better. It makes the economy better. Makes just the way things work better. There's new rides. There's new modules, new stuff, new ways you can build things. Just increases the game massively to what it was, and is constantly being updated.
Okay.
With like new content and things like that. They're just keeping Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 going because it was a really good game and there was a lot you could do to it, but it just sort of got left behind. So this is sort of adding on to that.
So this is a game that you played back in your youth?
I played a bit of it because I was a fan of Theme Park way back in the day. And then, yeah. And then I sort of got into Roller Coaster Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was the only one that I played for a long time. Well, not a long time, but for quite a while.
Yeah.
But this is certainly reviving it because they've got a lot. You can go to this website, the openrct.net, and they have pretty much a mods area, so you can download new rides, new areas, new people, new tools, just everything for the game you can think of. And because it's open source, it's just continually growing. So the people who enjoy this game and these sort of theme parky, economy driven games, and this is definitely one to have a look at because it increases the size of it very much.
I look at these sort of screenshots for it, and I'm like, I feel a need to play it. Like, I never played Roller Coaster Tycoon, but I'm looking at it and going, I played so many games that were like this, and I feel the need to play it and like have the little people come in and pay their money so they can go on a ride, and me design the ride with lots of loops and stuff.
Roller Coaster Tycoon was the best one of these games because it was just so customizable. Like, you can make your own ride, and it gives you, how fun it was, whether they got sick, whether they, whether it was too scary and all that stuff like that. So you could kill people as well if your ride got too intense. And I watched a video, and you can probably find it online, but there was a thing where, like, if if people keep dying in your park, then you lose credit, and people start leaving your park, and you'll get penalties and whatever. So what this guy did is he had a park next to him who was his competitor. So he invented this ride that got up to full speed and launch people into his park, so they would die on his side of the fence. And he would get all the penalties of it. So he just kept launching his people over the fence and into this other guy's park and killing them in his park. So eventually he went bankrupt.
Who cares? They've already paid. Send them off.
Yeah, that's right. They paid heaps of money into my park, and I'm just going to launch them into next door's park and splat them on the ground.
That's exactly the sort of thing I would want to do if I was going to play this.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stuff in the content, which is what this is all about, is new content. There's a lot of stuff. I just clicked on tracks just out of interest. There's 22 pages of the tracks people have made.
Oh wow!
Download the tracks. Different themes, scenarios, like full gameplay scenarios where you've got to sort of revive a park or fix a park, stuff like that.
That's usually how they start out. That's the tutorial mode. Is like, oh, I've got a broken park. Can you fix it for me? And the idea is you got to get more people in or fix something type of thing. Oh, now I want to play.
Some of these seem to be like the advanced players sort of stuff. Yeah, no, it looks interesting. So it certainly made a bit of reviving an old game that people love. So. And like I said, it's only $3.50 on Steam for the actual game, then this just adds onto it.
Cool bananas. I'd love to play this. I'd actually like to stream this, given that I've never played it before and it's was a really popular game.
To do it.
Speaking of streaming, I'm actually doing a stream tomorrow with my brother, and we'll be streaming the second half of Half-Life 1.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that at work.
Yes, you'll have to watch it at work. So yeah, we actually had good fun doing it last time. People seem to like it. We had quite a few views, and people were quite talkative in the comments. So yeah, we're going to give it a go tomorrow and see how we go. I'm a little bit worried because we're at the point where the ninjas, the female ninja ladies are, and I'm like,
chicks, yeah.
Because we're playing it on hard or the hardest difficulty, and I'm like they just kick your ass straight away, and I don't have any ammo in almost any of my weapons to actually kill the fuckers now, so
just need to throw grenades everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I've got very many grenades left. I've got a couple, but yeah, they keep kicking my ass. I think I might do what I did with all the other ones, is just run straight past that whole area.
Just bug out.
Yeah, that's what I did for a lot of things. It's just like, oh my god, it's going to take me forever. Oh, fuck it, just run straight past. Or what would happen is I'd try a bunch of things, like I'd try over and over and over trying to get past it, and then go, oh fuck it, I just ran. Just did a bolt straight past it and got it on the first try.
I pressed them out.
Yeah. What have you been playing this week, Keegs?
I've been playing Dirty Bomb pretty much all week for this competition, this Australian tournament I went in on the weekend, which we did all right in, I guess. We knocked out just before the semi-finals, so we got a bunch of in-game credits from the developers for playing and being part of it, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
That's about it. I've just been practicing my ass off playing Dirty Bomb, trying to get our tactics together.
Yep. Did you win any games?
Yeah, we won 2. Yeah, because we had a bye on the first round. We won the second round, won the third, and lost the fourth, I think. From memory.
Not too bad. Because Dirty Bomb hasn't been released very long, has it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks it's been.
Except some people have been playing the closed beta, which some of these teams, which were the winning teams, funnily enough. So we'd been playing for about 2 weeks. We got to about level 10, level 12. And these guys have been playing since the open beta, and they were up to like level 27. Like they've just been smashing it.
Right.
And they like you could tell they've been playing, because we did pretty well. Then we got to them and we just got walked on.
Yeah.
There was no way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I sort of looked at Dirty Bomb, and I don't think my brother asked me if I was interested in playing, or maybe you asked me if I was interested in playing, and I was like, oh, I don't have time to dedicate to, to playing a game like that. And plus, it also it's one of those Counter-Strike-esque games where it's just like mad frenetic activity where you're throwing grenades and spamming shit, and people are shooting you in the face as soon as you spawn.
After I finished playing, I went back to Counter Strike, and it was too fucking slow. I was like frustrated, like this is so slow, because Dirty Bomb is a lot like enemy territory or Blink, so
Yeah.
it's extremely fast gameplay.
Yeah, that sort of thing
Yeah,
doesn't really
but,
suit me, but yeah, so
yeah.
I wasn't that interested in.
I'm a competitive mongrel, so
Yeah, it's your bag, really, isn't it? The
yeah,
super fast competitive games.
yeah.
Vince Finn Steven asks, what about choose your own adventure games? Played any of those lately? No, but I have actually signed up for a Kickstarter for Thimbleweed Park. It's a
Oh yeah, cool.
if you've ever seen the old LucasArts games, it's made by a couple of developers who produced games for LucasArts back in the day, like back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's a game in that vein,
Ladies.
very much in that sort of in the sort of 8-bit era of games. So I'm actually very keen to play that. I think it's probably another 6 to 12 months release, but yeah, I backed Kickstarter and I was like, hell yes, I want to play this.
I'm actually thinking of playing. I'm thinking of doing a stream on probably Saturday morning, so it'd be like Friday night or something for American time. But I've got a bunch of games I really need to try and get through, and I was thinking about streaming a game called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is a bit of an old style, based on a book of the same name, and that's a sort of choose your own click adventure thing.
Mm-hmm.
So might stream that on Saturday morning.
It sounds familiar.
Apparently, it's quite popular.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I heard that phrase before. Okay. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm interested to see it if you do stream. You going to do it this Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. If nothing else comes up, I'll be streaming on YouTube this Saturday, early morning. Maybe like 9 or something.
Yeah.
How that goes.
So in terms of other games, we'll probably be playing. Oh, actually, games I've been playing this week. I haven't really been playing an awful lot. I fired up GTA to dick around for a bit, but I actually purchased, downloaded, installed, and played The Witcher 3, which I did not like. I played about an hour of it and went, this is just too boring. I got my money back. I couldn't stand it. I played a demo of the original one, and I was like, nah, this is I can't get into this. This is like occasionally you just get a game that you know is good, but it just doesn't click with you, and you're like kind of waiting for it to get good. And I was at the stage where I could still get a refund for it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play this. So yeah, it's called
right.
Sorry, it's called Thimbleweed Park. THIMB.
Oh, Thimbleweed.
Yeah, Thimbleweed Park.
Knew it was something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I don't have the time or the energy. And it didn't grab me straight away, and I was like, yeah, I think I'd rather get my money back and put it into something else. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty much alone in my summation of The Witcher 3. A lot of people love it. So, yeah, I will. But yeah, the Steam refunds work. I got my money back within 3 hours. Not even that long. It was back at my back at my PayPal account. There was no stuffing around. It basically just you go to help.steampower.com, put in the game that you want the refund for. The reason is like a list of reasons. I think mine was I didn't like the game or something like that. Tick that and pressed OK, and they'd sent me an email saying we've received it. We'll review it, and then 2 hours later I had my money back. So
yeah, that's all right.
So yeah, I'm happy to report Steam refunds actually work.
Holy shit!
Holy shit! And this is exactly the sort of thing I would use Steam refunds for. Like indie games are, I probably wouldn't get a refund on an indie game given that it costs almost nothing. But
Yeah,
on
I
a
probably wouldn't really ask for one unless it was like really, unless it really lied about what it was.
yeah.
I would probably say, look, I took the risk. I'm probably going to take that $3 in my stride and
Yeah.
cry in bed.
Exactly. If it's a big name game where you're paying more than sort of $40 for, then I think you're entitled to
Yeah.
try it for an hour and go, look, this isn't for me. I want my money back. For an indie game, it's such a tiny. If it's less than $10, I wouldn't even consider it. I just go, oh well, fuck it, $10, don't care.
Yeah, too
You know,
bad.
took a punt, didn't work out. Who cares? The amount of time I spend frigging around trying to get my money back is probably worth more to me than the money I would get back. So, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy to report that worked okay. Anything else
Yeah,
to
no,
add?
it's good. I'm glad to know that I can take some risks with somewhat expensive games and know that I can get my money back that didn't work out for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
There was no, I mean, there's not even a thing saying, you have to provide a reason why, why this is. It's just you tick a tick box saying I didn't like the game, and that was it. So.
Fuck you scam artist. There's no money for you.
Yeah. Oh, Vince even says he wanted a refund for Shadow of Mordor. My computer cannot handle that game. There's actually a tick box in there for my computer doesn't run this. So
Oh really? Wow. That's
yeah,
cool.
there's a bunch of tick boxes. Like one of them's my computer doesn't run this. Didn't like it. Doesn't play well. Wasn't what I expected. Type of thing. So you actually give like kind of
That's
feedback.
too bad, Vince, because I played it on PS4 and I fucking loved it.
Shadow of Mordor is that a
Yeah.
Hobbit game? Sounds like it is.
The what? It's
Hobbit
Lord of
game.
the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I do remember you saying something about it. It was a while ago.
Yeah. Game.
Good game. It's 50% off on Steam at the moment.
Was. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, actually, one thing I will say was I bought it as part of a pack with two other games. Like I got the Witcher, the original Witcher, and the second one, and I had to obviously give them all back, which was fine by me. I didn't really want to play any of them, so yeah, I think if you buy it as part of a pack, you have to refund it as part of a pack, and then rebuy it if you feel to.
That's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you open yourself to buying things as part of a pack, but they're cheaper because they're part of a pack, and then, essentially getting stuff cheap because it's part of a larger bundle, and then refunding the bit that was actually expensive.
Yeah, right. Did you play the Monster game for the Monster Summer Sale?
No, I read some stuff about it.
Insane.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I played the show. It was hilarious.
So what is it like for someone who doesn't know anything about it? What is it?
It's a there's a name for them. It's a basically AFK game where you just if you want to play it, you just fucking spam click on some monsters and some numbers come up and you do damage to them, or you can just leave it and come back later and you'll get all your gold you can spend on upgrading your damage and your attacks and stuff like that. It's yeah. It was alright. I suppose it was a bit of fun.
What level did you get up to?
I got to level 880.
That's not too bad. At level
Most
1.
damage I did was 10,970 billion.
That's quite a lot. So I noticed that the only reason I really know anything about it is because people were getting up to 100 million. Level 100 million, and then something happens.
Ridiculous.
Something weird happens once you get to 100 million. You get this special Easter egg type of thing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Fuck, I should try that.
Do you know how long it would take to get 100 million? Like people are running scripts.
It really doesn't take that long. Yeah, you can do the click scripts, but it's more about just timing where you put your gold into, so what you upgrade, and then each thing goes in so you upgrade 10 times and it unlocks the next thing, and then you go 10 again and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Anything else you want to discuss before we wrap it up?
Not really.
it's been a bit of a dead week this week, but so I thought we'd just like hit the highlights and hammer through it, and then if anybody else wanted to, if you had anything else you wanted to add, we'd flesh it out at the end. I think probably the most interesting thing that happened this week is probably the Star VR stuff coming to light. I mean, I think it's an interesting concept, and I'm sort of glad they're doing it, but I don't hold out much hope for them actually succeeding.
Yeah, it's VR, the future.
VR, the future. Yeah, I'm not convinced that it's actually going to end up happening, but we'll look forward to the VR future.
Yeah, I mean, well, can't really look away from it, can we? Because it's coming whether we like it or not.
And if you have your headset on, you literally can't look away from it. End on a joke.
You don't have like 180 review.
180-degree field of view.
You
All
gotta
right.
start strangling yourself with the cords.
Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. We shall see you all probably next week.
Yes, probably. Hopefully there'll be more news or something.
More news. We always like more news. If you've got any questions, comments, hit us up on Twitter, or you can leave them in the comments field below after we finish. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.